So now we've come to the end of our January online faculty meeting, and this is the segment I like to call the encouragement segment. And I'm also going to throw a challenge at you. So first we'll start though with some encouragement, and that's this. We've gotten our second semester off to a fabulous start. Our kids are happy, our staff seem to be happy, and things are just going really, really well. And I'm grateful to all of you for that. I'm grateful to all of our staff for embracing the things that were brought forth in our January 3rd staff development session. It was brought to us by Rufus Lott III, talking about restorative practices and green circles and some strategies to develop really strong relationships with our students starting in the classroom. Each of you embraced that concept. I saw tons of green circles and relationship agreements being put together around the building. People just really, really wrapped their minds about that and embraced it, around that and embraced it and brought it out in the classroom. In fact, I've never seen a level of application of strategies taught as immediate and as profound as what I saw after Rufus came and spoke with us. So super proud of all of you for embracing that. I'm not surprised at it because this is a staff who loves kids and values relationships with kids and understands that the relationship is foundational to everything we do. We won't get to the curriculum, we won't get to the instruction, we won't get to the learning until we have that relationship in place. You guys get that, and I'm proud to work with you. So my challenge piece is I'm going to throw you a little info from the Keller ISD Fundamentals of Leadership. You should already have this document. You should have received it from me a couple years ago. We handed those out, distributed them to all the staff. But the newer folks should have received those during your orientation as a staff member in Keller ISD. But in case you don't have your copy, or maybe you've misplaced it, or maybe somehow there was a mistake and you never got it, what I've done is I have taken the content of this little booklet and I have placed it on our staff handbook website. And so I've provided that link in this faculty meeting so that you can access it there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight just a couple of things out of the Fundamentals of Leadership. And I'm going to start with this first paragraph that actually comes from Cecil McDaniel, our Chief Administrative Officer. And it says this: who is a leader? You are. Regardless of the role you play, you regularly make decisions that shape Keller ISD. On a daily basis, you influence major decisions and outcomes. You do the right things for the right reasons because you know it is key to the success of our organization. Each of us plays an important role in moving the district forward. How we plan, what we do, and how we act matters. In order to be an exceptional school district, we must consistently model behavior that is intentionally exceptional, because that is what KISD leaders do. I really like the part where he says here that you are a leader regardless of your role. And that's something we've really tried to emphasize here at Timberview. So as you go through the book, Fundamentals of Leadership, it's a very brief book. It's not super wordy like I am, but it has some concepts that are really important. And one of them that really relates to the work we've done in our faculty meeting today is this one. And it's not the first concept that's in the book, but it's a little farther back. But it says, KISD leaders ask questions. We do not underestimate the need to ask questions when we don't know or understand. We ask and then verify that the answers we receive are sound and good for the organization as a whole. And you know, the whole reason we were able to go into a clarification of expectations format for this particular faculty meeting was some folks asked some questions. That's what you need to do. If you don't understand an expectation or you think an expectation is not present, man, come ask me. Come ask one of the APs. Ask your team lead, your vertical lead, your content lead. ask somebody and try to get a good answer and verify that that answer is correct and true. Because if you don't know the answer and you start making it up for yourself, then boy, we're going in a whole lot of different directions, and that's not good for our school and not good for our kids. So always be ready and willing to ask those important questions. And then there's one more that I wanted to throw out because it also goes along with what we discussed today, and that is KISD leaders. KISD leaders take ownership. We own what we say and how we think and act. We take responsibility for outcomes, positive or negative. We own it. So we own what we say and do. And so sometimes we have a tendency, and this is just human nature, sometimes we have a tendency to want to look around and point fingers and blame others when things don't go the way that they should go. And instead, what a leader does is a leader owns it. Sometimes a leader owns things that are not the leaders to own. That happens too, because sometimes as a member of a greater whole, we have to accept responsibility for things and own it, and then just work toward a solution. If we spend a whole lot of time finger pointing and looking for somebody else to blame, or looking for somebody to throw under the bus, or looking for someplace to pass the buck, we never get to the solution of the issue. And so it's really important to be able to own things. It's very important to be able to own our expectations as a campus. It's very important to own our mission and our vision and our values and the things that we believe in. This we believe. It's important for us to do that. We talked in our leadership team meeting at the beginning of this week, and big shout out to Ruben Dominguez, our assistant principal, for facilitating that meeting. We talked a lot about accountability. And when Rufus Lott came and spoke with us, he mentioned that we're accountable to people. We're not accountable to a number. We always relate that word accountability with numbers and did we meet this mark and that kind of thing. And it's not so much that. We're accountable to people. We're accountable to our relationships with one another. And so our accountability can be to one another as staff here on the campus. It certainly can be to our community, and it certainly can be to our students. And so we're accountable to all of those things. And our students are accountable to us as well. So holding one another accountable doesn't necessarily just mean that we're going to get somebody if they do the wrong thing. That's not what accountability is. Accountability is doing the right thing because we care about our relationship with other people, and we want to avoid disappointing them, and we want to better all of those around us. And so this has been a good opportunity to share some expectations, to make sure that we all understand the direction that we're going, and to make sure that we're able to hold ourselves and one another accountable to who we are as Timberview Middle School. And remember the Timberview way. I feel proud, I feel safe, I am engaged, I feel important, and I have purpose. I appreciate all of you, and it's going to be a great semester.